Let's share screen. Let's check the YouTube real quick. Make sure we're streaming.
The 18 we were yeah, speaking of way long. We finished an hour.
Oh, really? Yeah, we've somehow made up the time today, so I think we're good now. Let me turn the volume back down because otherwise it comes out of there. We don't need that.
All right.
I think this is going pretty good. Other than that,
No, it's been fine.
yeah. All right. So you got an introduction covered.
We're going to start about 2 minutes. About 2 minutes. And a little early, but everybody seems to be like now. So where do you arrive at your from? Where do you live?
I live in Cartersville,
I thought so.
near Alatoona Lake. So,
Okay.
yeah, and that's my home office also. So,
Okay.
I have all the area from well, actually, Weeda County back over to Coney County as the 10 analyst for them. So, a lot of mine, of course, is just consulting, making myself available for as a resource for where anybody has trafficking. So a lot of times it's on the high end of technology all the way to the boots on the ground.
Yeah.
What's going to happen, how they affect each other. So I hope if you had a chance to look at my slides or not, but
Not yet.
what you about to. But I mean, really, I'm just going to talk about the STEMS project and how engineering and the technology affects that. I hope that's good. I hope I can I'm sure there's a lot of people in here that work on traffic engineering and technology. So
Yeah, from speaker, talked about SIG ops and talking about
SIG ops, right.
some,
I know Mike is.
Mike, traffic incident management and that as well.
Well, see, I've never met Mike, but I've been on a lot of calls. Of course, he's great. Mike is really good about when there's something happening in an area as far as construction or lane closure, is making contact with boots on the ground and then of course changing the lights if need be, or that sort of stuff. So was he here?
He was. He had to leave about 12.
Oh, okay. I was kind of hoping I get.
He was, but he meant to. He was going to try to stay, but he got pulled away for something.
It's understandable.
Yeah. We'll go ahead and just get that started. Our presentation.
You're starting as everybody that here.
Really get their attention.
Testing. We're gonna get started on the next speaker. If you guys want to head back over here.
Do I need a microphone, or I think I can resonate? Now.
Should be good. Yeah.
Okay, I want to welcome everybody back to our fourth presentation and our final of the day for our technical exchange between Georgia and Tennessee. It's been a pleasure being here. At the end, there will be forms at the back table. If you want to get your PDHs, there'll be one of those back in the back. So please see that in the back. And if you need to ask them, I think Karen has those. But our speaker we're about to present right now is Ray King. He is with Atkins, And he actually lives in Cartersville, so he didn't have too far to come today. And he was a deputy chief, retired with Cartersville Fire for 34 years in fire service. He's been with the Time Task Force since 2010. He assisted in the development of the Georgia Traffic Incident Management Guidelines 2012 as part of the Time Task Force. And he's going to talk about the importance of traffic incident management team. So I want to present Ray King.
Thanks, Joe. Appreciate that. Appreciate the introduction. So yeah, I was the boots on the ground, did everything you guys do. Affected out there, which is a really good thing. Just today, I'd like to talk to you about the GDOT statewide traffic incident management services and the impact that engineering and technology has on responder operations. But first, I want to share with you my passion on traffic incident management. So around 2008, I had a crew assembled. We went to a highway incident, and we were working this incident, and there was a lot of discoordination going on this incident. And so I had a 6-month firefighter with me, and we got missed by a secondary incident by a couple feet. And my 6-month guy, even though he was just new at his trade, he was smart enough to know. He says, hey LT, if we don't start doing things better out here, somebody's going to die. 15 words, 1 sentence. It resonated with me. That was my driving passion to get involved with traffic incident management. How I got my start, of course, when I retired, coming aboard with the STEMS project. So I would like to talk to you about some of the background on the pilot projects that have been done as far as statewide traffic incident management is. There you'll see the TMC report. TMC support has a lot of what GDOT does. We support the TMC, get them information. We go out and we encourage our boots on the ground to communicate with the TMC. So the TMC can use their engineering and technology to make things safer out there while they're working the incident. So operations, TIM teams, we're going to talk a little bit more about that. The Tow and Recovery Incentive Program, Safety Service Patrol, the Time Task Force. Okay, in addition to that, we have research and technology, in the study of emerging and the introduction of pilot projects, once you guys create to come in and make things better out there, to help out there. So we're going to talk a little bit about the Time Task Force. It started in 2002. Oh, it went too far. Oh, it went crazy on me. Okay. One time. So the Time Task Force, I don't know what's causing this, Joe. Is it timed? Oh, wow. This is not good. So. Got it. All right. One more. Okay. I need help. I'm just waiting on somebody to say that.
So you have to see those two right there.
Okay.
So do it on that one, and you want to do this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right. The Georgia Time Task Force is continue the dialogue. We're going to take it off the timer. I don't know exactly how that happened.
Yeah, we can just do the.
Unless y'all want a speed course in what I'm talking about today.
We'll just take it off the slideshow and let you do it from this view right here.
Okay. All right, that'll work.
So instead of using,
Just click on that.
just do down instead of.
Okay,
right.
all right. Georgia Time Task Force started in 2002. Improved the interagency coordination and cooperation out there. And so opportunity for multi-agency training and a platform. So, you know, a little bit about them. They, the committees that are involved in Time Task Force is operations, training, programs, and grants. And they meet regularly to enhance TIM traffic incident management in their respective areas. The Tow and Recovery Incentive Program. This was started in 2008. It provides towers with a monetary incentive to clear the roadways quicker. One thing that the part of the STEMS contract we do, we go out and vet these towers. We make sure when they show up to a scene, they have the proper equipment. They have folks out there with the proper training to clear these quicker. Prior to trip in the metro Atlanta area, it was taking well over 200 minutes to clear the average incident scene. Now we've got that to just a little over 100 minutes average to clear a scene. It makes a difference. That went the other way. Georgia's TIM team. So this is a lot of what we do, or what I do as an analyst. We have these TIM teams and we meet all over the state of Georgia. We have 15 regional teams and 4 local county teams. We take a lot of the technology that's out there and we give it to the responders on the ground, and we try to teach them how to interact with this technology and to be able to use it to their benefit for their safety, and not only their safety, but the safety of the road users in their area. Activities, share problems, solutions, resources. We do a lot of after incident reviews. We develop response plans, procedures, criteria, roles and responsibility. Of course, communication, coordination, and cooperation. This just shows you there's 4 of the guys that do what I do spread out throughout North Georgia. I had a guy tell me here a while back, it was a fire chief. And he was like, hey, I love your programs. I love your technology. I'll tell you, we just don't have time for that. And I was like, okay, he says, well, my call volume's up, my manpower's down. So really what he was telling me is I don't have time not to participate in what you're doing. So that's a lot of the challenge. As far as what we do as TIM analysts go, is showing them and showing them what technology is available and how it affects their everyday operations. The LMS system. This is a online system as part of the TIM program, and we have people that are assigned to this. What they are continuously seeking out is training and making it accessible through an online system. They do a great job, and there again, you'll see some of the technology, how some of the technology affects what they do as far as the learning management system. Hero Champ programs. Of course, we have company coming over this weekend. And so my house has got to be clean. No other time does my house have to be clean. So, but come Thanksgiving, it's got to be clean. So the same thing when the 1996 Olympics comes in, here comes the TMC, here comes Hero. So we're making sure everything's in order. So we're being a little well, that was proactive because it started a couple of years before. In 2017, Champ come on for the rural areas. And they're doing a lot of the same things. They're doing traffic incident management, the same as Hero's doing in the metro area. Managed lane systems. The challenges, of course, is maintenance, unauthorized vehicles entering the system. The benefits, has anybody ever used the managed lanes? Don't you love it? I'll pay $1.50 to put a concrete barrier between myself and them trucks any day. So the managed lane systems, there's a lot of technology that's involved with that. Also, reduce congestion, reduce crash frequency, improve travel. Research and innovation. So one of the things that we do there is we look at projects that are happening out there on the highways. That are brought to us, engineering technology that's brought, and we analyze it for STEM program outcomes, populate dashboards to see if they're making a difference. studying, the technologies and best practices, and of course, delivering recommendations to GDOT. A couple of them is the signal, the flares that communicate with each other. We're testing them now. They are the smart sequential flare project. We did have some impact detection going on for the managed lanes. That we tested that product, but due to configuration and maintenance issues, GDOT decided not to. But that's examples of programs that we work on out there. So the timeline, T0 to T7. Everything and all that you guys do work towards shrinking this timeline. So going back to what the chief said, hey, I don't have time for this. It's good, but I don't have time for it. Well, the truth is, you don't have time not to use these programs. These programs will make a difference. They get your units back in service. They reduce your exposure time. They translate to less secondary crashes out on the highways. So that it's very important for this timeline. So engineering and technology. Where does it come in to support the safety of road users and responders? And engineering part, improve road services in critical areas. When I had a GSP guy tell me one day, he's like, can we look at this area? He said, I'm having to go do too many death notifications for teenagers in a specific area. What can be done? And so, what I challenge you guys to do, hey, when you're doing your engineering part of your roadways, look at the safety part. I would encourage responder input for modification of roadways, because a lot of times what we see happening out there is they know there's a problem. They don't really know where to go to with the problem. So getting responder input, I feel like would go a long ways for that, and being boots on the ground myself. Implement technologies that improve incident response. I know a lot of you guys have probably worked on a lot of the projects that we're using now in Georgia, and that is much appreciated. Sometimes from a boots on the ground perspective, we don't know how to use them. So, that's where we come in as TIM analysts. We're saying, hey, this is available for you. Please use it. Responder access on corridors. We know, I don't know if any of you guys were involved with the I-20 project going out toward Alabama, but it was a responder access was an issue there. I mean, getting the ambulance in there to the injured quickly was an issue. So give that some thought as your design and doing your roadway design. Automatic notifications, communication to all stakeholders. I think I walked in on the last presentation, may have been talking just a little bit about that, but there's a lot going on as far as responder roadway user notifications. So, and I listen to a lot of private, public, relations and how that can work. Well, the trucking industry is for one example. So how are they getting notifications on the incidents on the highways? Hopefully they're not going down the phone with their cell phone in their hand. But one thing that is recognized, their owner, Shaw Industries and Mohawk Carpet and Walmart, they're all talking to their drivers. They know when they open the back door on their trucks. So, getting this technology out to the commercial trucking industry is very important to them. So, any questions about the STEMS project and how you could affect safe roadway use and responder safety operations?
You're coordinating TDOT and these.
Yes, ma'am. As a matter of fact, that's where I was at this morning. But good question. There is the Southern Traffic Exchange Information Exchange Program. We coordinate with Alabama, we coordinate with Tennessee, we coordinate with South Carolina and FDOT also. So there is coordination there. That's usually done through the TMC. So that's a very important part of it because part of my area is Ringo, Catoosa. They're Metro Chattanooga, though they're not in Chattanooga. So that's very important. Thank you. Good question. Yes, sir.
You said smart sequentials. I can't
Flares.
say it.
I can't say
The flares,
it.
the smart
The flares.
flares. What is that? What do they do?
Well, what it is, and I'm not going to speak as an expert on that because it's just now being tested. Actually, our safety service patrols are testing these out as they go. But pretty much is getting away from the incendiary, the strike and throw flares, because they're not really that safe out there, especially on accident scenes with fuel and that sort of stuff going on. What they do though, is they actually line up with each other so they can draw a path through a traffic or the direction that you want traffic to go, especially at night. So it makes it less confusing for road users. Okay. So, yes, sir.
With respect to incident management, is there a special wing or set of folks who deal with construction corridors?
GDOT engineering, they deal with the construction corridors. What we do as far as the consultant side of that is one thing we do is sometimes we go ride the construction zone. You know, it's particularly if they're having a lot of incidents in that construction zone, and maybe, you know, getting with the GDOT engineers, say, and the construction folks, road construction folks, and say, how can we make this better? There's a lot of that. That's a continual thing. You know, Georgia's highways are there's a lot of construction going on, and I will say construction zones are probably one of the most dangerous places to be. It even goes as far as getting the, you know, road builders, when there's an incident, there's an instant notification there, and they do what they can do to help with the to clear the incident. Anybody else? Well, I will like to ask you, does anybody remember the 15-word sentence I said at the beginning of this?
You don't do something different, somebody that can keep it.
Different, better. We don't do something better out there, somebody's going to get killed out there. So, you know, then, and the truth of the matter is there's close to 100 responders get killed out there every year. Secondary incidents, they're deadly. 25% of all traffic incidents are secondary incidents, and around 50% of these usually end up with serious injury or fatality. So we appreciate what you guys do on the technology engineering world to make the roadways safer. One thing that was said in the fire service, and I just talked to the guys from Chattanooga over at TDOT, is the most dangerous part of our job is the highway. You know, as a old firefighter, we managed risk pretty good on structure fires. We got very well at that. Managing the risk on the highways is a lot more complicated than that. So, any more questions? Thank you so much. Appreciate y'all. Okay.
That concludes our technical exchange. I want Karen to come up as our host, kind of close us out, if you would. Also thank Tyler for helping from the GDOT, or should I say the Georgia ITE side, organizing. You have that as well.
Yes, no, thank you. Thank you guys so much for coming today and being a part of this. We have appreciated having our Georgia friends come up and see us, and maybe sometime we can do this again in the future. So PDH forms are back there. I think otherwise you're dismissed. Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Well,
Thanks for hosting us.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, yes. Yeah, when we here, we have some, it's mostly 25, so we have to take a deep breath. Yeah, it's not excellent. Look, this is. Yeah. I'll send you those pretty. Yeah. No, I mean, Denver. Yeah, I was very wrong. Long years.
Is there more to smart, right?